it's Steph here. I'm Bethany, and we are breaking down Down Dog today. So Down Dog, as most of you know, is one of our kind of most frequented poses in yoga classes. And we're going to talk through some variations and how everyone's Down Dog essentially should look different. Because our bodies are different, our limbs are different lengths, and that's going to affect how our Down Dog looks and how it feels. So focusing on feeling, we're going to first look at our hand placement. So we have this thing called carrier arms. And it's essentially where your arm comes out away from your body, from your elbow down. So most of us have some sort of carrier arm, and that's going to affect our hand placement. So to start your Down Dog and figure out where your hands need to be on the mat, you can find your carrier arm, and then you're going to raise your arms up and then turn your palms down. So most of you are probably going to have wider arms than shoulder width. So we need to remember that when we're starting in Down Dog, we want to start with the same distance from our carrier arm so that when we move through our vinyasa, let's say we're going through a plank wave into a push-up, it's going to be pretty much the same length or distance for our hand placement. So you can do that little check, arms out, palms up, palms down, and then from here, to engage the hands and the arms more, you kind of want to grip through the fingers a little bit, like you're gripping maybe a dowel, and then you're going to pretend you're breaking the dowel, and then you're pulling it back. And that's going to help kind of engage the back muscles into this movement as well, so it's not all on the wrist or the upper body. So from there, we're going to take that position and bring it down into a tabletop. So in table then, you're probably going to notice some yoga mats are a little too narrow, so you might even need a wider mat. That's why we kind of tend to favor a wide Manduka mat in this case because our hands are wider. So from here, she's going to maintain this neutral neck and spine. So notice she's got a nice line here from the back of her head going down the shoulders, and she's engaging through the core as well. So once you have that neutrality in the table, you're going to tuck the toes. And if you want to connect with your breath as you do this, we usually inhale as we prepare through the movement, and then we exhale when we're pressing into it. So inhale, as she exhales, she's gonna lift the knees, so you're almost in a little hover, and then pressing back to her Down Dog. Now notice that she's keeping her heels lifted and her knees slightly bent, and that's gonna keep the legs and the ankles feeling healthy. If she were to press the heels down or straighten the legs, she's taking both the ankles and the knees past their functional range of motion, which is not going to feel great, and it's going to overstretch our ligaments. So keeping the knees soft, keeping the heels lifted is going to get into the muscles here. She's also drawing in and up through the core, the front spine, so that she's not pressing so far back into her legs or her hips. She's keeping that neutral neck and spine here. So if I were to kind of run a line from her tailbone to the crown of her head, she's going down, and her head isn't pressing too far back, and her shoulders are in a functional range as well. So if she were to press further back, her shoulders are going to be coming where her head is going between the shoulders. That's typically going to be way beyond range. So if she were to keep that position, lower her knees, check out where her arms are. So lower your knees back, and then bring your arms up as if you were right. So we want to make sure that if she were to come out of that and come up, that her head is still going to be in front of her shoulders versus Frankenstein here. We don't want that. So coming back to that neutral position, again, foundation, hands maybe a little wider, tuck the toes, engage the core, use that exhale, pressing back, and then she might even do a little spinal wave here, do a little neutralizing. You can kind of see her spine moving through that neutralization, just preparing for that movement. Maybe she pedals the heels a little bit as long as we're not staying in that heel down position. And then this is a really great Down Dog position for her to transition into, whether it's a plank wave or stepping forward. She's got good control and she's engaged through the movement. Now, if you didn't want to do a Down Dog, you could stay down on your knees, you could do a table, you could do a half dog, you could come down onto your hands or your forearms. So really it is what Down Dog feels to you. So let's flip Down Dog a little bit. If she were to do this Down Dog in a different position, maybe she swings around a little bit, think about how this is essentially a Down Dog too. So maybe you take this instead of putting the weight on your hands. If you can't do inversions or be upside down, that could be your Down Dog. So there are tons of options, and we're happy to show you more here at the studio.